Kia ora and welcome back to the Creative Curiosity podcast. Just a heads up, this episode was recorded 3 years ago in January of 2022. It is now May of 2025. So just bear in mind some of the things that we may say may not be relevant right now, but I hope you enjoy. Cheers. One last thing too, I forgot to mention these little graphics down here, these two little faces. I put those there because we're wearing the wrong clothes. This day the camera can see straight up our shorts and there'll be shots where you can see our undies and we don't want that. So that's what those faces are there for. Alright. Kia ora everybody, welcome back to Creative Curiosity, the podcast where we delve into creative minds, find out how they tick and hopefully get some practical advice for you fellas, the listeners at home, to make you more proficient and professional at what you do. Obviously it's been a minute since we've done a podcast, and today I've got the brother Tawhanga in here. You may know him on social media platforms as Rauru Arts. Brother, it's been like, what was it, 2019? Just over 3 years since our last one.
Over 3 years, bro, yeah.
Yeah, and you reached out to me to do another episode probably like over 6 months ago, and I just wasn't mentally prepared, and I didn't have the physical prepped space to do it. But I'm very grateful to you, brother, for coming over here to do this episode and just do a bit of an update on what we've both been up to in this time. Eh? How you been, brother?
Yeah, I've been very good, bro. Heaps been going on since that last time. Heaps of learning, heaps of growing, and it's been cool. Yeah, so like when I hit you up, I just had a bit of a whakaaro in my head to like sort of maybe let everyone know what we've been up to since then, because like I said, we've done a lot since 2019, bro. So we'll get into it.
Yeah, bro. So obviously everybody listening at home or watching, I'll put a little link in this video so you can go watch the first episode, and so that'll cover a bunch of stuff that we won't need to talk to today. You don't have to explain who you are, where you're from and all that again. So we'll just jump into a bunch of different topics. Bro, let's start with physical activity, which is, I don't think I've talked about this at all to any of my guests, but bro, how has like doing, because I saw you doing F45 and that for a bit, now you're at BFT at the Bros Gym, how has that helped like mentally and all of those things, bro?
Yeah, bro, it's huge because as a creative, that's the kind of the last thing that we think about is ourselves and our physical health, not realizing that it helps us mentally as well. And so a lot of the benefit comes from going to the gym, and shout out to our gym back at home, BFT Rotorua, and the bro Kihiroa and his partner opening our gym. That's why I decided to jump over from F45 just to support the bro. Little did I know I needed it. But yeah, it's just, it helps you so much in terms of being clear-minded and just focusing on your job, your moko, whatever's on hand, whatever your focus is for the day or for the month. And just little things that helps you just sit nicely, sit comfortably, breathing, and then your mental, it helps you be a little bit more clear-minded, to focus on that line that you're pulling, or allowing space for you to to think more creatively in terms of your process and what you're trying to do at the time. Yeah.
Bro, I think you brought up an important ass point there, which is, as probably most artists, but definitely moko artists, something that we don't consider is like how painful your body can be just from sitting down.
Yeah,
You know, you think,
it taxes you
you think,
quite a
I'll just
bit.
sit down, I'll be all good, and then you know, and then you find out later on, like after doing it for however long, you know, for years, you go, I shouldn't just be sore for nothing.
Yeah,
Like
hard out.
I didn't lift anything heavy.
Yeah,
You know, and then realizing later on, it's like, it's because I'm sitting like this and shortening my hip flexors and all that, and then, you know, like I had to introduce mobility because I was just sore all the time, bro. And I'm still not like at the pain-free body that I want to get to.
yeah.
But, bro, yeah, that's an
I'm far
important
from
thing.
it too, but we try. But
Oh, bro, that's it. You know?
but yeah, like you were saying, you feel a little bit what do you call it? Soft when you hear about stories like people, you know, in the bush, like you know, doing that hard grind, like, you know, cutting down trees and lifting trees, splitting wood all day, and then you're only sitting on your
literally
your office chair. But it's
Cushion
hard,
days.
bro. It's hard. Like it's like it's physically hard and mentally hard because you know all that focus is going on the kaiwhiwhi that whole time.
Bro. And then you put your body in pretty dumb positions and you just hold it there.
Yeah, you got to hold it.
And you don't realize.
And as much as you try and keep your posture up, you always
Bro.
end up like
always end up with the blimmin'
just to try and
back.
get your eyes closer to help you see that line and get a better outcome.
Yeah,
bro, it's hard.
So any moko artists or just tattooists in general, if you're early on in your career, add some like exercise into your fella's routine and like don't even let yourself get to being in pain like how we've
I actually kind of learned that off Cyber.
Was it?
Yeah, he come over, he got a moko done.
Yeah.
And he was speaking, he talked a little bit about how he spends a lot of time in the gym. He was saying, he said something like he spends 2 to 3 hours a day in the gym. And I was like, bro, that's long. Why do you spend that much? Like, maximum I go is an hour.
Yeah.
But he was saying, I spend 10 hours on my ass, you know, slaving all day. So that's the minimum I can do is spend 3 hours at the gym. So on your hauora and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it really made me think about it. Like I was going to the gym before, you know, I had a yarn with Sai, but he made me realise that, you know, it's real important to focus on your hauora that much.
Oh, bro. Yeah. And shouts out to the bro Sai, and I remember that period too.
Yeah.
Bro, it felt like other than moko, that's all he did, eh? Like he was doing those insane workouts, and that was when he was like hundy into his calisthenics and stuff. And I'm still trying to get to the point where I feel worse for not going to the gym. You know, like how we all know athletes, you know, in different areas, but I'm trying to make one of the books that I've been reading, and I'm on my third go around now, is Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's this pathway, and he talks about in that book about like 3 levels of habit change, and the deepest level and the one that has the most effect on changing is identity. So making it part of your identity. So instead of saying like, I want to work out, or you know, I need to go and work out so I can get abs or whatever. It's just saying, I work out. I'm the type of person who goes to work out. And he goes, you get there by doing it over and over again, which is like stacking up evidence to say, yep, you're that person. You're that person. So I'm at the very beginning of that for my hauora side. And then, you know, if we were to compare it to toi Māori, you know, like for you, for example, like you don't have to convince yourself that you're an artist, you know, because you've done it for so long. You know, you just go,
What was your kōrero? Rinse and repeat?
Yeah, rinse and repeat. I don't know if it was mine, but
I think I heard you say it one time, but yeah.
That rinse and repeat. And then, you know, I think this is a good segue into what we were talking about earlier about creativity and how it's transferable. You know, if you're fully a creative person and you're not bound by the medium that you use, the situation that you're in, you can go and do anything, and then let's talk about a bunch of the stuff away from moko that you do, bro.
Yeah, so the things like, when you talk about mahi slash your passions versus hobbies, is like my hobbies is to do more art,
Bro.
like get more creative.
Yeah.
Do more creative things, and so since that time, I think I started carving that last podcast in 2019.
Bro,
Yeah. And then I seen a huge development in terms of my creative processes, and I found a huge another huge passion for another medium. But at the end of the day, like I was saying before, is like they go hand in hand, and the way I approach moko is the way I approach carving. It's still moko to me, and then that goes into things like digital mahi on the iPad, Procreate. That's the best because you can take it anywhere with you. So you can go down to the shop and pull it out, and when you have things on your mind right at that instant, you can just you can
jot it
down, and that's great for. But in terms of trying to do giving the mediums, I guess, so like for example painting, that helps with getting your ideas across, and then you're planning for it, and then trying to achieve it with the brush. And so in terms of creativity and things like that, they all work hand in hand, bro, especially toi Māori. I love all aspects of toi Māori, whether it be whakairo, rāranga, tāniko, moko, or ko whaiwhai. I try and do as much as I can, and try and do it as best as I can, and try and learn as much as I can to help those puna of mātauranga, of all the mahi toi.
Bro, and it shows, because I don't remember exactly when it was, bro, but I remember there was this period where it felt like there was a distinct shift in your mahi, where you just went and just turned into a bloody Super Saiyan, bro. And I remember I was like showing Sunny and then like talking to heaps of the bros, even you, and like every new piece you did, and it was around that time when you like got into bone carving and all that, and I was just like, what the frick is going on? Like, this fella's just turned into an alien. Like your stuff, and your stuff just leveled right up. And we were talking about it before, those different puna that you were saying feed into each other, and they feed into each other unique things that only these different puna could feed into. Like I remember when there was that period where it looked like a bunch of your moko was hard out influenced and informed by whakairo. It's just like, wow, look at that, ridiculous, and then looking at your like bone carvings and stuff, and they didn't look like bone carvings that other bone carvers did. They look, I could see like some moko influence in there, and even then, like moko's a general as way of saying it. Like your unique approach to moko was like infused into their bone carving, but all of this is, which is to say, there are things that unique aspects and skills and sort of creative ways of learning that come from different areas, like moko, tāniko, rāranga, whakairo, and all of these things that you can transfer over to all of these other areas and then create something unique, and as artists, one of the best things that we can do is bring your own uniqueness.
Mm.
You know, and that, or what do you reckon about that being a way to help bring that uniqueness to whatever area you're working in?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get better at answering those types of questions. But all I can put it back down to is your tile, bro. Like who you and when I say tile, I don't mean like going to the bush and I do mean that, sorry.
But not just that.
Yeah, and going to the moana and going to our environment. But when I say tile, I also mean like the people you surround yourself and the conversations you have and the experiences you have in your life.
Yeah.
And I guess I put it down to me putting myself into. Well, I don't really have to put myself into it. It's like, again, I'm lucky and grateful and fortunate to have been brought up in such a I guess great environment and whānau to because all my whānau are artists, it's all right there at hand. But in saying that, you still have to have that passion and that drive to sort of push. So my whole thing is to look at my the tauira that I have in front of me and sort of add that to my to me and myself, and then try and push forward in terms of it's not about creating new things. It's just about your perspective, like for example, one of the things I do to I do many things, but like to be unique is to like look at experiences of my tauira, of like I say my old man being a carver, and who he looked up to, and then me looking up to him and trying to emulate the process, but put in my own little thing in there as well.
Yeah.
And that might be because of my age and how young I am. It might be just looking to the sides to my peers.
Yeah.
And sort of like trying to bring a bit of that into it as well. So it's looking back, but it's looking to the side as well. Yeah. And like things like social media is a huge part of our tile now. And what I try to do is go on there for inspiration of, I'm not saying this in a big head way, but what not to do.
Yeah, bro.
Because what's on there is what's on there, and what's being done is what's being done, and with respect, I like to be inspired that way.
Yeah.
And then you see sort of not the gaps in the panga fence, but like sort of like what can be done in another perspective. Yeah. So yeah, if I'm on Instagram, I'll go on there, come across something mean and like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
How can I do that, but in my own way, with my experiences and my whakapapa.
Exactly,
and,
bro.
Little things like that I've found has been helpful, and then a huge part of it is patience as well. Just like because you get all these ideas and things come to you, and you want to do them there and then, but it's not quite I guess mashing together with what your type of style or art is at the moment. So you just hold those things for later, and then you put them in when the time is right.
Yeah. Bro, there's heaps of things in there I love. First, your kōrero about taiao. I haven't heard that one before. Like, obviously, I've noticed it harder probably in the last 5 years. Probably never heard taiao ever really before that. You heard it when you every now and then, once in a blue moon, and then it went into hearing Taiao every other conversation, but somehow never in their context. And I think it's appropriate, because we hear kōrero about our tipuna and stuff and being innovative and using their Taiao for inspiration for whatever it was that they did. And it's appropriate to use that Taiao that we have now, which is way different, but like you said, we can look back at what has been laid down, tauira before us, and then using those as inspiration and as examples of how to do things in certain ways, and then also realizing where we are now in time, and using like the internet and social media for inspiration, or things that can help inform different areas of your mahi. And I like what you said about the gaps in the panga fence. That's another thing I haven't heard before either. And bro, like growing up, I didn't consciously do it, but it's one of the things that I did growing up. It was like, and I've told this to my partner as well, and to other people, like close mates and that. Like, bro, I was pretty funky looking fella, bro, back in high school. And one of the reasons was I just didn't want to be like everyone else, and it wasn't that I didn't care about what anyone else thought. It was just I like to be different, and it was looking unconsciously, bro, looking at the gaps in the panga fence, and as artists, that whether it's conscious or not, I feel like you get to a certain point when you'll do that. I think talent definitely has a big part to play in it, to be able to identify those things and just see what people are doing, even if it's me, because I'm similar in the same way that I look at stuff and I go, man, that's ultimate, like stuff by you, from the bro Tristan Manawatapu and
the lines of doom.
Ugh, ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous, and then I go, man, that's ultimate, and then go, all right, I don't want to just do what they do, because they do what they do, but what things can I do that can be influenced by it or informed by it?
Yeah. And
I like what you said about your dad before, saying looking at who his inspirations were. I don't know if my dad taught me this when I was younger, or if it was just something that I picked up from him. Because then you take, there's stuff that your dad would have taken from his inspirations that
adds to you.
Yeah, that adds to you, and then you'll be able to look at them and see different things that he may not have seen. That influence your mahi. But yeah, there were some diamonds in there that I hope people who are listening or watching take away. And that social media, internet thing is a big aspect, because I remember there was a period, bro, and it was you, your uncle, and a bunch of other artists who I respect as well were posting up about not biting, and I remember that period because it felt like there are a lot of people who were doing almost exact rip-offs, so it can be used in the wrong way and that way.
Yeah, I always say, well, my uncle says it too, like it's like social media is the best thing that happened to us, but it's also one of the worst things because it's so accessible. Everyone sees the end product, and I guess that's cool in a way for the buy-in of every. Or let's take moko for example. But we always say like that it's deeper than that. It's not just the what you see is the last 5% of moko, but what you don't see is the years of wānanga, the years of hard trying to come up with all these things to I guess to your outcome at the time, and then and what makes your style and then adding on to all the years of going through the trial and error
Mm.
of those types of things, and then the experiences you have to that creates that.
Yep.
And then for someone to just see the end product and sort of take that and be inspired from it. But I guess there's a way of doing it. I don't really know how to say it, but there's a way of there's a difference between being inspired and copying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of understanding, or you know, at least trying to have the intelligence to understand that what you're looking at is not all of it. You know, that's just the result of all of it.
And it's a bit hard with moko too, because there's kōrero behind specific patterns and
stuff.
Yeah. So you might be putting on the wrong tohu for the wrong, for the wrong kaiwhiwhi.
Oh, bro.
But yeah, like I said, it is hard because aesthetically it looks beautiful. But yeah, I suppose like if you're going to do that or be inspired, it's not hard to ask a question.
I think, bro, that's a good point. You know, on social media, you can get this sense that people. Like an example is, bro, there's heaps a bunch of other Māori artists, like in all different fields, a lot of moko artists that I know that I haven't even met, bro. Like I feel like I know them pretty well just from following them, and like every now and then, we'll just talk through the DMs and that. But I don't know if it's like this for everyone, but there was that period, and I just went around and asked different moko artists. I was just like, just about their process, not like the moko side of the process, the technical side. So like, what equipment you use and things like that. Because I had gotten to this point where, you get to a point, and I'm sure you'll be the same, where you have a high standard, and if there's 1% of improvement that you can see that can happen, and you find other people who you feel like may know the answers or have some help, you just go, oh, bro, how do you, or what do you use for that? Like, how did you do that? Like, what gear do you use and all that? And, on the outside looking in, most people will probably go, what? But it already looks like, at the, as best as you can get. But, as the person behind it, to yourself, you think, no, like I can get better. And that's what's cool. You can always get better. And you just ask those questions and you go, oh. And I think, we were talking about it earlier. And moko, probably, actually, it'll be all toi Māori. The more you know, or the more you learn, the less you feel like you know. Right. So like, feels like, let's say if you were to visualize it, and moko could fit in this hand, and you feel like early on, it's just this. This is all of moko is contained in this hand, and then you learn a bit more about it, and you realize, oh no, it's actually like two hands, and then you learn a bit more. It's like, oh no, it's been this big. And you sort of just get more and more humble the more you learn.
Yeah, and then now slipping into like closer to 10 years, almost doing, I think I'm on my 8th year.
Yeah.
And sort of, if you say moko's a career or being an artist, and now I'm starting to get people ask me to do guest speaking at at events and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, what do I talk about? Like, how do I, I'm like, in my head, I don't think I'm ready for that. But it's not out of it. It's kind of cool when you actually do it, and people actually want to hear what you say. You don't think anyone wants to hear what you say, but I guess yeah, heaps of learning comes from that as well. And then trying to articulate your kōrero in a way to that people can resonate is that was hard for me. Even just speaking, like I remember last time, it was hard for me to just speak about my experience and well, myself and so yeah, I'm trying to get better at doing that. But yeah, it's pretty cool that now that people want to get you to
bro, that's
speak
mean.
and stuff like that.
Have you done any?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and how have those gone, bro?
Pretty. Yeah. I haven't heard from them, but I felt like it went all good.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be doing one tomorrow, I think.
What? On a Saturday?
Yeah. It's a indigenous hui. Yeah.
Oh.
For the universities.
Oh yeah. I think I just heard about this actually yesterday.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be. I'm just trying to. Yeah.
Bro, that's the one. I was literally this morning, bro, watching this video. The Diary of a CEO. Have you heard of that fella? He's on YouTube. He's a business owner, entrepreneur, but he's got I've just recently started listening to his podcasts. Amazing. And there was this thing he was talking about, and he was answering these questions from people about business, and one of them was someone goes, I feel imposter syndrome when I'm in certain spaces and doing certain things. And he went through the spiel, bro, and at the end of it he goes, actually, if you feel that imposter syndrome or feel like, why me? Like, there's other people who are better than me at this thing. And then he said, you're doing exactly what you should be doing. Because one, and this is me sort of going off onto my own sort of learnings that I've gained from other people. One is they wouldn't be asking if they didn't think you had some value to give. You've obviously done some valuable mahi that they think, man, we really want this fella to talk to whoever we have as our audience. Two, I think it's good to have probably maybe just a thing is among Māori, that humility thing where you never feel like, I'm the guy.
Yeah. Well, because for me too, like I've got my uncles and my old man
people
and
you look
and
up
things,
to,
and my queer. I feel like they should be doing that, but they're probably sick of it because they do it.
Been doing
they do it every day,
Yeah.
type of thing. It's like a weekly thing they have to do. Give a quarter or two.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about must be for me like stepping up now.
Yeah, bro.
Trying to help in that way.
And how do you feel, bro, about because this is I've had conversations about this before, but especially around moko and like toi Māori and stuff, never knowing how to walk that line of how much to share and how much not to share, and then in what contexts, those sort of things. How do you feel about that sort of
like you say,
area,
it's all comes down to context. You can sort of just in my little time I've been, as a ringata, like you can tell the ones who it's meant for and who really resonate with moko, and then you can tell the ones who maybe want it, but it's not quite for them.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out that sort of thing, but it just comes down to feeling for me. Like you can feel the person out or the whānau out.
Yep.
And then you just go from there, bro.
Yeah.
But like we go back to social media again and how to share on those type of things. Like one thing you done I felt it was good, bro. It's just letting people know about is it appropriation?
Yeah, cultural appropriation. Yeah,
cultural appropriation before
yeah.
before your video. You know,
Yes, bro.
that's huge, bro.
That's an important
and
point.
I feel
Yeah.
like I need to do that too.
And bro, like that's cool you bring that up too, because I remember getting a message a couple of years ago from one of the bros, and then just a message after not my last moko walkthrough, the one before it, from another bro who was just talking about like cultural appropriation, and he works overseas, and he just talks about a bunch of people around that area who ain't Māori, who do moko and all that, and I was like, bro, yep, and he was trying to say like, this isn't like anything about just letting you know, and I was saying, nah, bro, I hear exactly what you're saying, and then that was when I put that little bit in the start of that walkthrough, and I'll get better at it, like refining, just to be clear, like super clear to people who do watch, that it's purely about, for me it's not really sharing moko, although it is, but the parts that I'm trying to share is just about the thinking behind just the aesthetic part of it, not the, and I think, and I purposefully did that, so kōrero around moko can be learnt, I believe it should be learnt like in person, from the right people, obviously, and making a point of it. And I also said in there too around not doing moko if you ain't Māori, if you ain't taught by Māori, because we know those people who ain't Māori blood, but they're Māori, they're whāngai and raised around Māori, or all that, and them when you see them, and when you meet them you're like, hey, this person's a Māori, even if they're not Māori blood, but yeah, I think that's a good thing, just I suppose for me personally, just to be more conscious and try and be as clear as I can around those things, just so that, because there are going to be those people who just will stand back unheard of, unseen, who would just take it in and use it, in the wrong and not even be cultural appropriators, really, and those people are going to do what they're going to do. And I think for us, or for me anyway, I'll just talk for me, I can't talk for us. For me is making sure that I've put those intentions out there, and because I have also got a lot of people who are Māori who are not necessarily connected to their Māoritanga, grew up overseas, and all of those things, who go, this has helped for me to like reconnect, and make me want to reconnect and not be so scared to reconnect, because it can be pretty daunting.
That's what moko is, bro.
Yeah,
it's all about connection, and it's all about it's a huge healer, for everyone, for anyone who's willing to be a kaiwhiwhi and take on moko. And yeah, you're right, like there's like some of the tourists I've done are more Māori than Māoris that I've done, and it all comes down to what's important to them.
Like ngākau Māori,
Yeah. Wairua Māori, and like some of the tourists that I've done, like a cool, where like they've done their rangahau, they're open to us, and like one of the tourists that I've done before was like Busby Rider, where he done as much research as he could before he come to me, and then and laid it all out for me, and like that was cool. Like he was open-minded, and he was just prepared, and yeah, that was like, that's another question I've got over time, is like what's the perfect kaiwhiwhi to you?
What, bro? That's a good question.
Yeah,
Yeah, what is
and
it to you?
and like having that fella was he answered the question for me, like
Mm.
kind of but yeah, it all comes down to just being prepared and doing a little bit of research and how how to do things and because this is the world of content and everything like that. Like there's heaps of moko artists on the thing and on social media and Instagram and
You don't have to try hard to research.
and then and like yourself, you have your website and then it's got what to do's and how to ask and stuff like that. And it's not easy, but if they go through that hassle to do it,
Yeah, that they're taking it seriously.
they're taking it serious. And then because for a lot of tourists that come, they want not a souvenir, but like something meaningful for their time here and their travel here. And that's what he said too. That's the biggest honour I can take back home is moko. Because it's gonna be on him for the rest of his life.
Forever, yeah, exactly.
And so he said to me that I done my research and because and he's seen just simple things like typing in hashtag Tāmoko on thing, and then there's everyone
just follow that.
Yeah, and
see
then
where
you
it
just
goes.
see what you like, and then what counters that is like having a Māori message you and be like, how much for a tap, bro? Like, hey,
bro.
Yeah.
Here's bro.
Bro, do you do script?
Let's jump into this one, bro.
Do you do script? And like my whole portfolio is just moko. Like just have to look at my photos on Instagram. Like, have I ever done letter?
Bro.
Not that I have anything against lettering, but
It's
like just
like no, don't do those.
Yeah, man.
Bro. Yep. No, that's a good one. And then, because, bro, one of the things that I did at one point, and I've only recently changed, was if anyone, bro, messaged and they didn't say some form of kia ora or hello, some form of greeting, bro, I just wouldn't reply. Because for me, I was like, if you don't even know how to say hello, like, I probably don't want to do you. Like, who knows what else common sense things that you should know, that what else things don't you know? And like, especially if you're an adult. And then I've recently, bro, just started. I just tell people off now. Just say like, nope, not gonna do you. Like, that's rude. Just demanding, mahi that you want, and just saying, I want this done. Like, that sort of entitled sort of attitude. And we ain't just entitled here as a service to just go, oh yep, they just do what we want. It's a collaborative thing.
That's it, bro. Yeah.
And I don't know why, but some people think it's just they will go to someone else, and they had that experience there, and then they just expect yours to be like that. It's like, oh yeah, bro, went to someone else and it was this much. Oh yeah, so can I get one that size and that price?
Yeah.
It's like no, we're all different, But yeah, no, that's a good point, bro. You bring up, and let's jump into this will be pretty much purely for people who either do moko or who tattoo or thinking of getting into it, and which is one area that I love, which is tools. Bro, what did you use when you first started, and like what was your like machine sort of journey up to like what you use now? Yeah, your machine whakapapa, bro.
Yeah. So I done my first moko in 2014. And it was just a machine that my uncle gave me. I think it had no brand on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just a Japanese type thing you get off tattoo warehouse.
Yeah.
So
Coils?
It was a coil, sorry. Yeah, coil. But it was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. And that's what started me. So I used that for outlines and fill-ins.
Yeah.
So I changed the whole,
change the tube out and all that. Yeah.
I don't even know what thing.
It's been so long, eh?
And then once I saved up enough money to buy me some good machines, I jumped on a Aaron Kane. Aaron Kane, that was my fine liner, and Sif Safari.
Oh, do you remember what Aaron Kane you had?
How do you say Damascus?
Oh, Damascus. Yep.
Yeah, it was one of those ones. I don't. Was it a fastback? Oh no, that was the Sif Safari. Yeah, it's been so long, bro. I don't even know.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
The name of it anymore. Yeah. But yeah, started on coils, and I think I stayed on them for my first 4 years. Then I jumped on to what was it, FK Irons? Forgot the name of it, but it was a crossover machine where you still use trad needles.
Yeah.
But it was a rotary setup, so instead of going straight to cartridges, but you could use cartridges on it as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so what was it called? Oh, I forgot it. It was FK Irons anyway. It's called a crossover machine, but I don't know the actual
what it's called.
What it was called. And I was on that for about a year or two, and then that just stopped working one day. So I went on to the Cheyenne Thunder.
Yeah.
What's the Thunder?
The one that looks like an owl still.
Yeah, that's the owl.
Yeah.
Still cord and but cartridge set up. Yeah. So I went full cartridge then.
And it had like a pretty thin grip.
Yeah. Bought that, and that was. And I had that for a couple of years. And then, and then I'm onto what I was on, what I'm on now, is the FK Irons Flux.
Flux?
Yeah. I think it's called Flux. Yeah. It's with the power bolt.
Yep. So wireless.
The 2 batteries. Yeah, wireless.
Yeah.
Wireless setup. It's sort of the equivalent to the Cheyenne.
Soul Nova Unlimited in that.
Yeah, but in the FK Irons brand.
Because I did this fella the other day, who's a tattoo artist as well, and we were just talking about different machines in that, and he's one of those fellas who collects machines. And then I was mentioning to him that you're an FK Irons fella, and I don't think I know anyone else who uses FK Irons, or not anyone that I know personally.
I think it's just Ike.
Hey,
Proctor, that I don't know if he's still on it, but the last time I seen him jamming was on the FK
Irons. Because most moko artists are Cheyenne all the way,
Yeah. And why did I jump on that?
Yeah, why was it that instead of Cheyenne?
Yeah, because I seen everyone. I had a tutu on a Cheyenne, and I didn't have a good first experience, so might have put me off straight away. I just used one of the bros ones just to have a tutu, and it just didn't feel right for me. So I that's what I done. I just done a bit of research and looked at reviews on, the old Cheyenne versus FK Irons. Like they're all the same in the end, but like I found FK Irons was probably because I've used an FK Irons before.
So you knew it's not going to be worse than that one.
Yeah.
If anything, it'll be the same, if not better.
Yeah, and but it's been working for me. I've done whole puhuros on it, and and then right down to the finer stuff. So, I just really felt smooth when I first used it, and you have to put a bit of time into the things like that, and you have to sort of just trust it. Hey,
bro, and it's such a what do you call it? Like, can be super frustrating, at times, because you
one
get
day it will
your
work,
skill, bro, and you'll have one day a dream, the whole day. It's just like, butter, everything's going in, blooming smooth as, beautiful skin, lines are solid as, and then the very next day, shit as.
Yeah. 2 hour piece turns into 5 hours,
bro. And I feel like that yo-yo sort of thing has happened to me recently. Like, no one will know, because the end result is always good, but
still get what you
exactly what you come for and what you commit to.
But the efficiency,
that's the experience for you as the kaita is not as good as it can be, because you've had the good experiences before. And for me, bro, I've been just mowing through cartridges like recently. Like, there was one I did not that long ago, and I went through like 7 cartridges just to find a nice one for just outlining.
Yeah.
And I like did the small segment And like through talking to a few bros as well, who would just say, bro, if it doesn't work for me, like after a few lines, I just go, nah, next one.
Mm.
And because before I was like pretty precious with cartridges, because they're way more expensive than like traditional needles and all that. You know, you pay $50 for a box or $45 for a box or just 10. You know, bit more now, but I was just like, oh fuck, that's pretty heaps. You know, to just and bro for years, like when I got the Cheyenne pen, and I got it in 2016. Bro, just try to fight through it, You know, you just fight your lines. You'll get there, but like sometimes it'll be a shit ass experience.
Yeah.
And then you know, been asking more bros like, oh bro, what do you use? You know, like you asking like what cartridges you use and all that. And then I just ordered me another, and I haven't ordered like other than the Cheyenne pen which I had since 2016. I just got a new machine last year in 2022. Or August 2022, which is their Bishop Power One liner.
Oh yeah.
I wanted the Pekka, but they had no more Pekkas left. They're Bohemian. And then I just okay, they've only got liners. Let me have a look at some reviews on the liners. The reviews that I saw were like, oh yeah, it's mean. Got it. First wireless machine. Used it mean. But then as soon as the machine's mean, and then like did a few pieces, it was like, oh, yeah, easy, way better than a pen. And then I just felt like every single cartridge after that was shit ass that I was getting. I was just getting super frustrated. I was like, man, this sucks. And then do some more research, and then I just recently ordered me a Dan Cuban.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talked to the bro Tristan, and then I saw that. Bro,
that's what he uses.
He uses it. He uses it. I got a bro Ali, who's in Hamilton. I used to tattoo with him at the shop in Hamilton when I was up there, and his stuff is mean. And I saw a video of him tattooing, and he had one. I was like, "Is that a Sidewinder?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, it's mean as."
Those you still use trad needles?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you can obviously do that at bar for cartridges and that, but Dan Cuban recommends using traditional needles, and it's gonna be strange, bro, because it's supposed to arrive like in a week, and I've gotten used to having a quiet machine.
Yeah.
For what's that? For 7 years. 7 years now.
Does that? It still has like an armature bar on it, does it?
Yeah, bro, but it's like it's a rotary
armature bar type
with
setup.
An armature bar, with a spring.
So does it still
makes noise? Yeah, makes noise.
Oh, yeah. Like it hits like the magnetic part of the armature bar.
Yeah, and it's just from what I've seen of it and videos that I've seen.
So is it like both put together, like a rotary slash?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Because you know how you have coils and it's like magnetic, and then it pulls the armature bar down. Come on. Up. Pulls the armature bar down. Well, this one has got it's got like this rotary sort of mechanism on the side, and then it rotates this part, and the armature bar is down on the side now. It's a vertical instead of horizontal, and then it pulls not the armature bar, the spring pulls the armature bar down. But just from what I've seen, bro, I'm just like, that looks like what I want to try. And then I ordered all of those up there, like blooming tubes and like traditional needles and all that.
Back to tubes,
bro, I was like, this is out of it.
Disposables.
Like, I haven't seen these in ages.
Yeah, I don't miss. Mind you,
you know,
if it's full outcome,
bro, we want to do it. Gonna be wired in again, plugged into the wall, and plugged into the machine and all that. It's gonna be strange. But I was saying to Sonny, I was like, nah, man, I'll happily go back to that if it means that the experience for me is better and the outcome is better.
Yeah, hard up.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe my hand pressure and speed is just not the one for cartridges. Because I was saying, bro, like, out of 10, like, let's say I did 10 pieces, one of those would be, like, nice, like, experience, and then 9 of them will be hard, and you'd have to fight for most of those lines. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that part.
Mind you, when I say like I started on coils, like I still felt like I skipped a lot too because I didn't have to make my own needles.
Oh yes, I didn't either, bro.
I went straight to disposables. Like I didn't use any steels for grips and for tubes and that. Yeah. Like it was still quite. I felt like it was cheating a little bit, like because you didn't really have the full experience. But yeah, so I suppose I didn't have much of a connection to coils as much as like my uncles and that, because they always swear like by
Loyal to
coils.
the coil.
Yeah, loyal to the coils, and they always say that the experience with that you still can't get the same outcome as what they're using now with rotaries and wireless pens and stuff like that. And like for myself, just experience a little or like the end
Of that era,
of that
yeah.
era of coils. Yeah, there's something still about that, that old that feeling of the wah and
Bro,
and that
that's a
weight in your
nostalgic
hand is
sound. Yep.
it's still there's something about it you still miss in a way. But yeah, like I was saying before, as being a second generation artist, I feel like I'm just trying to find ways to not better the process, but be more efficient
Yeah,
what
bro.
and how you get to your outcome and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I'm all about trying new things and like trying different setups and different cartridges and different machines and different inks and
Yep.
stuff like that, and it all helps towards your experience at the end of the day. That's how I found the cartridges is so Quadrant, the turbo liners that I used. I only tried those because I've tried them in the trad needles as well.
Okay. Because
and
they
I
were
found them
huge,
super.
those that brand then.
Yeah, I found them super sharp, like getting a mean outline with it. And so that's what led me to trying them in the cartridge form, and it was like similar, but just having it in their cartridge form, just trying to find your find the right thicknesses and stuff like that, because they don't match up to the straight bar.
Bit different, eh?
Yeah. So generally, it's a lot. It's a little bit finer than what
traditional.
you get with the traditional needle.
Okay.
So say if you're using a 9-round liner.
Yeah.
In a trad needle, you go to a 14 or something like
that. They're big of a jump.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. But within the cartridge system, it has its own different.
There's all these different variables in it, eh?
Yeah. With the gauge and stuff like that, and even the type of tip they use and how much ink they distribute to the line and stuff like that too.
But even like because before, like when I was early in the cartridge system, I remember when I first heard about it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Like the bro was describing it to me without actually looking at it physically. I didn't even know what he was on about. I was like, bro, I don't understand you. That makes no sense to me. And then I got into cartridges and I just strictly used just the Cheyenne Classic ones. I dipped into the craft ones.
Yeah, I didn't like this.
I liked my first experience with it.
Oh,
I was like, man, these are mean. And then after that, they just got inconsistent. And then like I felt like every single one that I used after that was just a bit off. And then when I bought that Bishop, started experimenting, and I ordered some of those Da Vinci V2 cartridges. And it took like 2 weeks to get here. I was like, these, I had a look at all of the reviews in it. It's like, man,
are those made by Bishop?
Yeah, they make them themselves, bro. Like real nice looking cartridges and that. And then I tried them and I didn't like them. They weren't for me. And they were pretty fine. They were fine. So they must have been just like pretty low gauge needles. Good for delicate stuff, but for me, it just wasn't for me. And then I was like, oh, I'll try these other ones. Man, I went through like hundreds of dollars of trying all of these other ones. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm just, I know, is it me? Like they just weren't working. And then getting cartridges that the membrane was snapping. Like I did one. Bro, like 3 in a row. Like within a couple of hours, 3 of them snapped. I was like, oh, fuck, never had that before. Bro, and tried all of these needles or cartridges, and came back to just my classic Cheyenne ones, which is the
Yeah.
best that I could try. And obviously before jumping into the Dan Cuban, but haven't tried that yet. Even those, getting those Lotus Manawatapu needles. Because, bro, just looking at the stuff, I'm like, that's exactly the finish that I want.
Yeah.
Like, super clean. And,
Super.
like, bro, and I remember, like, when I was working with coils, and the only reason I jumped from coils is because I didn't know how to, like, really tune it properly and sort of getting inconsistent results.
Yeah.
Like, when something was wrong, I didn't know what was wrong. Like, I knew a couple of things to try, but still wouldn't solve it for me. But I liked the finish that it would get.
Yeah.
And it was a bit more forgiving, like with rotaries. Smashes it in there, and you don't have many tries to do a line before you start cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like one time I snapped the what's the spring that holds the armature bar? Is that the A spring?
The front one, the front spring.
Because there's two A.
Yeah, there's that one that bends up, and then there's that little one that connects it to the machine. The contact screw.
Contact screw, and then the one down bottom, the whole armature bar snapped
just fell off.
Yeah, it just fell off, and I was.
It's like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, what do I do? Yes. My option was to just change the whole, get a new gun, get a new machine.
Yeah, it's like I don't have a rear spring to replace, and I don't even know how to replace it.
So straight on YouTube after that, eh?
Yeah, bro.
Try and that's another huge thing is like
social media.
Yeah, the content from then when I started to now, there's heaps.
Bro, the level is crazy.
Yeah. Just like the other, maybe middle of last year, I just learnt about the different tapers and the different gauges that you can get in the needle itself and the makeup
textured,
of the
non-textured,
trad versus bug pin and stuff like that. It's all on YouTube, bro, like that.
Bro, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that when you want to learn stuff like that, go on YouTube.
Yeah, and there's
YouTube
like
everything.
because I remember early on, like maybe like within the last 10 years, like looking at on YouTube and bro, like the people for some reason, I don't know if this is just how it is, but the people who were giving advice on tattooing were shit ass.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why are you giving advice? Like, but now, bro, like there's like legit artists on there who are like world class artists.
You still have to weave through the good and the bad ones, but like with with your experience, you can tell, the helpful ones and the ones who are just for the clout.
yeah, bro, yeah. That's one of those things. I think that's the thing you get better at as you grow as an artist. You get better at filtering. You go, oh nope, and you just don't even listen to any of the rest.
Yeah.
Oh, like an example, bro, is not of that, but of just like the level of quality there is out there now. My cousin, he just tagged me in this video from this dude. I'll add it to this video. I can't remember his name on Instagram, but it's about like just tips around tattooing, like the technical aspect of it. Like what happens to your needles when the needle touches the bottom of your ink cup. What needles should look like.
Oh, bro, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, you just hit a memory.
Okay.
Oh, heaps. I've done it heaps of times. When you do a buzz on the bottom of the ink cap, you get a mean fright thing.
And it bounces a bit of ink up.
And then you're trying to act all normal.
Like it usually happens. Like it happens all the time.
Like it's a normal thing. I always have a crack up at myself, even though they kind of like don't really know. Well, maybe but they don't say.
If it's their first experience, they don't know.
Yeah, it's always. I always crack up when I do that, and I just crack up when you hit the
sometimes
bottom.
it makes a bloody mess.
Yeah.
And then you think, I should have just took my gloves off and just filled that ink cap up.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to get those last few drops in the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's that quality out there now, and it shows you what happens when you touch the bottom of the ink cap and, like little techniques like, bro, for the longest time, other than when I got this power one because it's amazing at it, blacking out, bro, is the hardest. Like I see it to people over the years, like out of all the techniques that I've tried, blacking out is the hardest. Like pulling straight lines, it's hard, but once you're comfortable at holding your machine and pulling lines in it, it gets easy. But blacking out was just always hard for me.
Yeah.
And then it goes to show, like, one part of it was just using the wrong machine for the job. And then this fella just showed techniques, and I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's heaps of variables there. Like when you think of your stroke and the throw of the thing, and then the voltage, and
so many
what
things.
needles, and stretching,
angle of your needle when you're penetrating the skin and all that.
Heaps of things to be mindful of,
Bro, heaps of things. And there's those times when everything works out, you do a piece and it's just butter, and you're like,
it is easier on different types of skins as well.
It's like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Why is it not like that all the time? Yeah, bro. There's so I'm sort of at a stage for me where, because there's that point when I was gonna stop.
Yeah.
Moko.
Yeah.
But to the point now where I'm like really enjoying it again. It's probably, me and you traded places a bit, because during that time when I was going to stop, I ended up slowing down, and I tried a bunch of different things. For you, it's going into carving and sculpture and digital art, and then for me it was doing this, bro. Podcasting, doing like videography and like writing and a bunch of all of these other things which are creatively fulfilling.
Yeah.
And then all of those things have come back into moko, and just for me, I'm just at a unique point in my life where I understand the value of moko for me, and how it can help move me towards where I want to go. And it feels cool to be back in that sort of space again. Because you said you're slowed right down, eh?
Yeah, bro. So I think for me, I guess it comes down to I don't know how to say it, but like conserving your creative energy. Because I'm always mindful of that, and so for me, while I slowed down doing moko, so I only do 2 days of moko a week, and then I spread my time out with the other mahi I do. But yeah. And plus, I see, on social media, there's heaps of people doing moko now, which is me.
Right, high level too.
Yeah, and so for me, it's just about saving my creative energy in terms of the approach. Yeah, like the approach that I have to moko is, and it always has been, quality over quantity, that type of thing. And just I feel like, for me, like slowing down is slowing down doing moko helps me as well. In a way, I don't know how to say it.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I feel like even though I'm doing less moko, applying less moko, I'm still doing more moko in a way, because I'm saving, like, in trying to do, put quality into anything I do. And then there's the other side of things where you're like, where I want to spend my time with doing other things. For example, whakairo, plower. And then, like you said before, it always contributes back to moko for me, because I see it as doing moko. I approach it the same. So, yeah, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's just conserving and giving where it needs to, where I feel like it needs to be given.
Yeah.
Because another thing, when I started moko, I always said I wanted to add to the puna, not just text from it. Like that's a huge part of my the way I try to move with moko is like because we have our inspirations there, and, all the ones who paved the way for us. Coming into moko, just hearing little things like from my uncles, like if you're gonna do this, do it in your own way. Don't follow me.
Yeah,
like,
then do what
just
we do,
getting that korero is real. Has helped me in a way, he didn't mean it in a disrespectful way or anything. He just meant it like, as in, have as a goal type of thing, or so along with trying to gain that creative that creative process in terms of coming up with your own style and stuff like that. That's helped me because how do I say it? Yeah, just you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, right. It's pretty much like set up for you at the beginning to bring your own thing to this. Hey,
yeah. And the only way you can honor the ones that taught you is try to do your best and give your best, and obviously you're grateful and thankful for what they've taught you and how they've brought you up, and that's one way I can honor them is just putting myself into everything.
Best foot forward, bring your own uniqueness.
Hard.
Yeah, bro. I think this is pretty much wrapping it up, but bro, heaps of takeaways in there, even for me. I'm just like, I don't know if this is you, but when you hear something where the coin just drops and then your mind just goes and you're like, oh, I can see how it applies to everything, and it just helps everything make sense. So thank you for that, my bro. But just for a last sign out, so considering all the things that we've talked about, like bringing your own uniqueness and all of those sort of things, and technical side, and giving as opposed to just taking, your whakapapa artists bringing you up, what's probably, or what would you consider one of your most important lessons, bro, you've learnt, not just as a person, but also as like a creative person?
I think you just said it, bro. Is giving, not just taking. And now, just last year, at the end of last year, one thing that's made me aware of that is I started a little kōwhaiwhai wānanga with some of the kids at my partner's kura, Te Rangi Hakahaka. And I took 5 kids to, show them through the ropes, the basics of kōwhaiwhai. As much as I was teaching them, I was learning a lot myself, and in terms of like what I know and how I share the process for them to understand it. That was huge for me, bro. Like I didn't think that it would. I just didn't know. I just didn't know where it'll take me because this is my first time trying to teach someone how to do kōwhaiwhai.
Didn't know what to expect.
And bro, it was that was a light bulb moment for me.
Yeah.
As it's just kōwhaiwhai, but for me that's the very base and the foundation of moko, is in kōwhaiwhai. And but I learned as much as they learned from me. I learned just as much from the kids themselves. Little things just like asking the whakapapa and the kōrero behind the pattern, or why they the whys and the do's and the don'ts, and like little things like that, bro. So it gets you thinking, like, and how to and I think I said this on the last podcast. All my life has been about trying to do it and being curious, and and then now slipping into being a little bit older and a little bit more experience. You have to just find a way to give back, and that's it's just a start, but that was super cool to spend that time with those kids. And this year we're just carrying on that kaupapa and see where it grows from there, and I'm looking forward to that, because that was Mickey.
Yeah, bro, I have seen that actually, and I didn't know that that's what it was. I
Mm.
thought those were just like your little nieces and nephews and
Nah,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
hanging out with. Because I know you got a big whānau. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you know, that's just all Odu's cousins.
Yeah.
You know, but
Well,
bro,
it
that's
started with
even
him,
better,
bro.
yeah.
He's sort of my, what do you call it? Well, my first tauira, I guess. But like it didn't. I actually never had a desire to
Mm.
teach him like that way, but he was the one who asked me to, teach him,
Mm.
and so like, oh yeah, he must be serious about
Yeah.
it if he's asking me. So we just started, with the basics, and you start with a pencil first, and then start with go onto the brush, and just little things like that. And now he's making more money than me. He's selling his own art, bro. Like he's getting
Oh, man.
commissions without me even knowing. Like
Wow.
it's cracker, bro. And he's like, he's taking it to another level. And like my uncle was telling me, like he used to buzz out at me how I used to,
What you did, and it's
Yeah.
just like, well, this fella.
how I used to watch what they done,
Mm.
and doing it. And so he's doing the same thing to me now. He buzzes me out every day.
Apple
Bro.
don't fall far from the tree,
Yeah,
my bro.
like, I think I posted on my Instagram was like one unwritten tikanga or rule in our thing. We either draw every day or be creative every day. And he's actually the one that pushes me to do that, bro. Like he's always, either on his iPad or asking me he wants to paint and stuff like that, or find a way to be creative and keep on top of that that outlet, I guess.
Yeah. Bro, I love that. I think that's a perfect way to end our podcast. We went from, if you consider our first episode and this one as sort of two parts, the first part was you at Odu, we talked about, your upbringing and all of those things, and then moving into now where it feels like your Jedi phase, that was your Padawan phase, Jedi phase where it's, we've gotten into your journey into talking about, the giving back. Because, you only get to that giving back phase after you've done a lot of learning, after you've done a lot of, really learning. And then you get to a point where it's like, oh, yeah, there's getting more people who are asking, for me to give mātauranga or, whatever it is. So, bro, thank you for coming on, brother, for making this trip over. Part 1 in Rotorua, part 2 over here in Whakatane, or in Poroporo to be exact. Thank you, my bro. Appreciate you, brother. And hope everybody at home, if you're listening or watching this, give the bro a follow at Odu Arts.
Yeah, because my page got hacked.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
In the last year.
I remember that, and everyone was getting hacked.
Yeah.
Or fake pages.
My one was
being
different.
made.
I was trying to do a good deed and help the bro get his page back, but little did I know they were hacking me. Yeah.
Look at that. And then protecting yourself.
I always get you were clicking the wrong link, eh? But I wasn't. That time I wasn't. I was trying to help. But yeah,
separate occasion.
Got done. Yeah.
Got stung for being a good fella.
Yeah. That was ratchet, but yeah, we're on the comeback.
Yeah, bro, definitely. Thank you, fellas, for listening. This is Creative Curiosity, and if you can do this show one favor, it would be just to share it to at least one person. Just to one person that may take value from this. Maybe they're early on in their journey, maybe they're curious about getting moko, whatever it may be. Be hugely appreciated, and this will help this podcast grow, and we'll keep bringing more guests on. Cheer, my bro. Got a sweaty hand holding a mic.
They want to ask me what else is sweaty.